Hello and welcome back to another episode of Is It Livable? The series where we investigate towns in Fallout to see if they are survivable and realistic in that. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Is It Livable? The series where we investigate if towns in Fallout New Vegas are realistic and survival in an actual apocalypse. In this episode we are doing the one and only Goodsprings, the town you started. I was actually going to do this town as the first town for the series, but I decided to do Prim because I actually like that town more. Well, not by much, but you know. So by now you should know the rules, and if you don't, we're just simply investigating whether these towns in Fallout are realistic, or at least how realistic they would be in an apocalypse. Checking if they have a good population, if the infrastructure's good, farming, water supplies, that type of stuff, because I enjoy doing it. So before we start this, do know I have gotten a new PC, so I'm still trying to figure everything out. So if you see anything weird, just that's why. But without further ado, let's do this. So it's kind of hard to do where to start Goodspring, as there is at least 3 locations with the name Goodspring in it. But I figure we'd start right here, and we'll figure it out as we go. As you can see, Goodspring is on the western part of the map, and it is surrounded by mostly desert. Although it is surrounded by a quarry junction, which that is not good. There's Sloan, there's a lot of powder gangers and cons nearby, which isn't good. There's Prim. So there's not much, but well, there's some towns and raiders. That's really about it. And there's Deathclaws, which is preventing the Corn Junction from connecting to New Vegas itself, which that can only be a bad thing for things like trade. Okay, let's start walking. The road itself is fairly maintained. Although we see it's really bad over there, but as we go on, looks still right. And there's Goodsprings. Now, I think we should start over here. Let's do it. Let's do the bar first. We're going to simply go down the road and see each building and what they have to offer for this town. Of course, we have a good old bar. Every town needs one. Since there's no things like a television or much music, I imagine. I guess this is the only thing you could do on a Saturday weekend. We got Easy Pete over here, best character in the game. We're at the Prospect Spoon. Now, do know I have sided with the townsfolk. So yeah, the powder gangers are gone. Okay, so this is a nice bar. I do wonder why they keep broken pictures of glass over the wall. And if I owned this bar, I would probably clean this out. This not be good for customers to see. This door's blocked right here, so that's a room lost. Okay, oh wow, an actual toilet. I'm drinking out of it. This is probably the first time in this series I actually seen a toilet that's working. So they have some sort of plumbing here. I do wonder how they achieve that. Oh, and let's go back in. Okay, we have Trudy. I wonder if these are removable. I wouldn't want my drinks to be prepared next to shattered glass. Not good for customer service. But the paintings look nice, like these booths are intact. Okay, this is where this is a homemade shack, so this looks like an extension of the main building. It's like our private quarters. We have Sunny Smiles over here. Oh yeah, this is a nice little bar. Okay, so, no, I do imagine they had to put a lot of effort for the starter town in New Vegas. You know, this is what most people are gonna see. Let's go in here. We gotta inspect everything. Oh, this is just it. I feel like an idiot. Okay, anyways, yeah. So anything back here before we go into the store? Not much. It's just the same thing. And I'm gonna. Okay, so it looks like we have a. So I assume this is where they distill the alcohol. Yeah, we have moonshine. That's cool. That's a really cool feature, though. You know, we have an actual source for alcohol over here. I would be a little worried about drinking moonshine and don't want to go blind, but you know, it's a nice small detail. I imagine most people aren't going to figure out. You know, for me, I like going with high karma runs, so I usually never pickpocket stuff. I usually go the easier way. Okay, we're at the central store.
Howdy.
Okay, we have there's shit. No, the same problem. It's just you know, I don't want to put my hands on broken glass. Like I already chatted here, but besides that, everything looks nice. Little fire hose. What's back here? Oh. You know, for someone who owns like the only general store in town, I figured he would at least have a bed. Not much. Keeps the place clean at least.
Those rangers in black armor? Wouldn't want to make one of those mad.
Not much here. We got some corn, some nuts, some more fruit. And it's a good, nice little general store. For this little town, I imagine it would do. Let's go over here. Actually, let's just put right here first. So we have an old shack right here. The foundation's still in, but the only thing I can see for this is scrap. It kind of looks ugly in a way. We have what seems to be a propane tank. Or is that water? It's kind of hard to tell. Either way, that's a pretty good way of storing water. Let's go in here. Goodsprings home. Nice little house. Boarded up windows. Paint starting to chip off. Yeah, it's a nice little house. What's this? It looks like they have a BB gun. Oh wow. Let me get that. I'm taking that. I actually never used a BB gun before. As you can see, I use things like ballistic fists. Normally, that's the only melee weapon I really use. Okay, yeah, it's a good house. We have a trailer over here. Looks like that was the thing that towed it. Okay, that's cool. Anything go on in here? No, these are usually filled with some beds. This house is all boarded up. I wonder why. Oh, there's Job Cop. Hey, there's the man himself. I don't remember killing that back here. Doesn't matter. It looks a shame. It looks like something bad has to happen in here in front of the borrowable, perfectly good house, at least on the outside. Maybe there's some bug infestation or it's collapsed inside. Who knows? Shame though. Another rundown house over here. We have a little windmill over here. That's I always wanted one of these in real life. Kind of cute. And you probably could fix it. Let's see over here. We have another Goodsprings home.
If the NCR ain't got to worry about Caesar no more,
oh, I
it
saved
should
this
worry
girl.
about improving the lives of regular folks around here.
Yeah. You know, I do wonder how easy it would be to make glass in the wasteland, at least for places like the NCR. I imagine it wouldn't be too hard. At least if they can make guns, I imagine they can make glass. Like I definitely see them replacing all this shit when they have time. bathroom here. We got broken toilet. I imagine they would take this door outside. It's kind of a looks what's the word? Nuisance or yeah. Yeah, let's go with nuisance. Okay, that's a nice little house.
Howdy.
Okay, another house with person living there. We'll tally up the population of Goodsprings at the end of this episode with the rest of the charts. Okay, let's go here before we do anything else. Because this is a big home. Yeah. Okay, we have a kitchen over here. No infrastructure damage. We have a. This is where the bed is. There's a sleeping room. Okay, here's the bathroom. Have a toaster in there. I don't know. That doesn't seem safe to me. It's like they tried repairing the tub. Maybe someone fell. Yeah, they definitely tried doing some sort of renovation in here, which is understandable. I want to, I would want to have a place where I could go in private. So it looks like their ground is dirty. I want to put something flammable on the oven. Well, the oven probably didn't work in the first place. Looks like this house is all boarded up too. So another house that could be used is not, for some reason. For gaming reason, I imagine it's because there's some restrictions with all Fallout games. The concept art is usually better. New Vegas and all the other Fallout games, Skyrim, pretty much every Bethesda game has this problem. And then there's Scrap Shack over here that's run down. We get a nice view though. Okay, here's Victor over here. I wonder. I do wonder who made Victor's shack. Was it him or was it over here? Okay, so he wouldn't need to use the restroom. Although he keeps it pretty neat. His coffee maker. Little radio over here. Who knows? A robot somehow has a better house than most of the residents I've really seen. I'll be kind of jealous, to be honest. We have another run-down house destroyed. There's a lot of scrap in it, so I imagine I'm gonna use it. Here's the schoolhouse. Looks like the tree fell. Now, one thing I do wonder is why they didn't clear out this, mantis infection on their own. Because you could definitely do something with this little house. Not teaching children, as we don't see any children, but, storage or something. Someone could live here. A lot of people, actually. And if you're not going to do anything, I would still clear out the mantis infection. Just because, it's better to deal with them now than for when they populate a lot and become a real hassle to deal with. There's a lot of good loot over here too. But then again, we don't know when the mantis infection sprung up. So, I can't blame it too much. As we see, we have a nice, gigantic building that could be used, but isn't by the residents. So that sucks for them. We have another destroyed building up here. Okay, let's go up here. So far, we haven't seen any, like gardening or farms. We have a lot of bighorners. That's what I meant to say. We have a bunch of bighorners, so I assume that's where they get most of their food. Oh wait, never mind. Look at that. We have corn. Avocados. We have corn. So never mind. I guess I was just blind for a second. Looks like we have people making their own food. Shouldn't be too hard, I imagine. One thing I've never seen in the is there potatoes in the I know there's potatoes, but is there potatoes in the older Fallout games? I assume they're still around. They're hardy little things. They're pretty. You know, if you're gonna survive off one, like plant, it would be potatoes. They should last you a while. You can plant them in. One story about potatoes actually. My mom left 2 potatoes in a glass bowl in a dark room, and they still sprouted a bunch of their roots. So, yeah, I don't know. I just like potatoes. And we have a windmill over here. That's a great use of power. So we could guess where the town gets their power from, which is windmill powered. Or at least 1 or 2 of the buildings. I do wonder how much that actually could generate. You know, like we have batteries up here. One thing I never see Fallout 3 do was you know, this. It's small details, but you know, they're nice small details. I really like that. Okay, had to do a quick cut there, but not that important. So let's get back to it. We are at Doc Minch's house himself. This is where the magic happens. I didn't even take much stuff from this house. Got a functioning bathroom. Nice kitchen. It is understandable why Doc Mitchell's house is bigger than everyone else's. You know, it's the house. It's where everything starts. Yeah, I didn't even take anything from when I first got here. I felt too bad. There's the man himself. This little stash. Do you think they have like a, before the Great War, do you think they had like a anti-bald medication yet or anything like that? You know, they have nuclear energy. I assume they would. I mean, we're starting to have it today. So, you know, it's not that hard to believe. We have like Gauss rifles in the like Project Helio, so I can imagine it. Bald tangent aside, you know, this is the medical station. So I assume this is where everyone in the town goes to get, you know, medical stuff. I don't know why I blanked out for a sec. We have a flag of Nevada. So yeah, that's where we know people get medical treatment. So this town has medical treatment. Most towns don't have that. That's all backyard. I do wonder why it's boarded up. I assume he doesn't want anyone to come back here. I assume there's like a little garden. And he has a nice little garden. Yeah, so we have some honey. Where I can't pronounce the word. We have some maize, so some corn. So yeah, we have a little garden. It seems this town doesn't have one big farming area. Everyone just does their own little farming. We have the Poseidon gas station. We have a working Sunset Sarsaparilla. I assume they're nuclear powered for some reason. That's the only explanation on why it would still be working. I do wonder what you could do with this. Like Poseidon. Because this was a band like before, you know. What's his name moved in here? I'm really bad with names, so it's kind of hard to. Yet again, I did not raid any of this for some reason. It's on me, to be honest. So, yeah, you could do something with this. I wonder why they haven't. I assume just everyone's been busy. Because, like, you know, like, you could definitely turn this into a shop, you know. Maybe no one wants to compete against the general store. I don't know. I think Fallout 3 suffers from this problem a lot more. Not doing much with buildings when they could. New Vegas still suffers from it, but not as much. Honestly, one of the biggest problems the Bethesda games suffer from is that I feel like, you know, after 200 years there would be more you know, societies popping up. You know, like again, 3 just super mutants. But, you know, besides the Brotherhood, there's not much. We have a good little sign right here that says "Keep Out." That's where, you know, Core Junction is. So there's some, you know, warning for travelers not to go over there. Bunch of stop signs. I like this. You know, they're reusing the signs. Also, I'm gonna make that its own video. You know, why hasn't, you know, the Fallout best games. I feel like they only happen like at least 50 years after the apocalypse, not 200. I really feel like they should have just said it like at most 100 years after the apocalypse. That would have solved a lot of problems for them. And we have another house that's boarded up. Shame. That's the third one. And even has a nice little fence. And then back here, yeah, I do wonder why. You know, lore-wise, I understand when they do it in real life. Another little windmill. Put your barrel. Another boarded-up house. That's number 4 on the list. Let's go up here to the cemetery. Get a quick look. A little dust up over here.
Come on.
There's a little scorpion. Veronica would deal with that. Remember when I first fought them, I almost died. And there you go. One problem I do have with this game is the crit screen takes like too long. Like look at that. Should not take that long. I'm too lazy to install mods. Also I want an achievement, so I just gotta deal with it. Yeah, we have a cemetery here. I don't have a shovel, unfortunately, so I can grave rob. Yeah, do I have a shovel? Let me actually check. Yeah, I don't. For some reason, I think I sold it by accident, or when I had too much junk, I accidentally unequipped it. But yeah, we have a nice view of the Mojave. We have the Yangtze Memorial over there. And there's where it all happened. More warnings to keep out of, you know, Quarry Junction. That's smart, you know. I assume some guys or girls up here just drink, look at the sunrise. I would too. There's New Vegas. It's not a shame that there is Dead Claws. You could definitely do some trading up there. Now, is there a way to access this water tower? Because this would be a very valuable asset for Goodsprings. You know, I mean, you need water in general, but like in a desert like the Mojave, I imagine it's gonna be a more important thing than some other things like money or guns. Like, you can always find guns. You don't need a gun, but like you always need water. I feel like that was a stupid ramp. Can't carry anything more. Is there anything else we have left in the main town? Just a trailer over here. There we go. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Oh, look at that. A nice big farm. So I assume this is where corn is, either corn or wheat. I don't. My grandpa actually grows corn in our yard. We have a big yard, so that's just a little fact. Someone sleeps here. At least slept here. Central module. So yeah, this house is boarded up, which is a shame. So yeah, I don't know, you know, how much this is able to feed Goodsprings, like a week. I feel like a week at most. There's a lot of people that live here. Another boarded up house over here. That's 6, I think. I think there's 7 right here. They're like, oh wow, look at this. Wait, never mind, it's not boarded up. Let's go in here. Oh wow, this is nice. This is a nice house. They even have a mole rat rug. I actually never seen that. You know, with this series, I'm starting to notice a lot of things I never have. I assume this is where they do the business. The bucket. We have a plunger over here. Kitchen's clean. I assume people would board up their back door, you know, so there's only one exit. I don't know if there's running water. Cutting board ramen steak. Yeah. Let's go with you. This shelf could, you know, does look nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Besides those shelves and the windows, this is a nice house. It's nighttime already. We have some wagons over here. We can use Those are hand. I assume these you can lift and pull. Okay, so let's go to the water spring. That's the last place. There's a good spring in the name besides the caves, but there isn't much over there besides some dogs, I think. No coyotes. One thing I do notice that the Goodsprings is lacking is the fence. Like there isn't like any watchtowers or like barricades or anything. You know, the powder gamers almost took this town over. It wasn't for me, like rallying the people. So I feel like they could improve on that a lot. Here we go. This is the last major location. Over here we have which is I assume is a water thing, because you know buckets and stuff. And this is the main water thing. Yeah, this one's broken, but this one's still good intact. We have a nice little windmill. I assume this is what a pump-powered windmill. You know, goes in the ground. And no radiation. That's nice. For once, there isn't a radiated water in a Fallout game. That's nice. And look at that, we have another one. I forgot there was more than one. Okay, over here. Same thing over here. Looks like this one's broken, so that's one less. You know, less is less. So, although I imagine 3 is good enough. Oh, they aren't even attacking me. Look at that. Hey, I don't know if they're glitched or anything. Okay. Yeah, this is, I consider this is the base of Goodsprings. This is where it really ends for me. We have a nice little trail over here. Someone used to live here before the geckos kind of moved in. And this disheveled building over here is what I consider the last building for Goodsprings. And then we got Prim over there. Yeah, they're really close. You could I could see them doing trading. This is the closest thing we have to like a watchtower. Some old trucks over there. This is where the power gamers hanged out before I murdered them all. Some fire pits. Is there anything else? Goodspring. Okay, we'll go to the Goodsprings Cave because it has Goodsprings as a name. Oh yeah. Oh, I have that one perk that makes animals friendly to you. I always forget names. I really suck with names. But yeah, this is it. I wouldn't want coyotes around me. Although can you domesticate coyotes? I don't know. You can use them for meat and shit. I like my coyotes in real life though. I hate them. They wake me up at night with their screams. But yeah, that's about it for Goodsprings. It's a good town. You know, it's the starter town. It's the first town you're going to encounter. So I do imagine they put a lot of effort in here. You know, I do want to visit this place in real life one day. I live pretty close to Nevada, so it's not that out of possibility. But yeah. There isn't really any closing thoughts with Goodsprings. It's just a good town. You know, I'll put all my afterthoughts in the infographics section. And, you know, yeah, that's about it. Let's not make this video any longer than it has to be. Let's go to that section right now. Okay, here we are at the graphs. And before we get into the actual analysis themselves, here are the scores. We will give one of these to Goodsprings at the end of the analysis. And without further ado, let's go into the pros of Goodsprings. One of the biggest pros I noticed about Goodsprings is its large water supplies, which in the desert you're going to need, obviously. There's a lot of wells, there's a lot of water tanks to store water and gain it. You know, there isn't any rivers nearby, and I don't think they get the water from trading, so it's
they're pretty set on water. You know, it's like as long as those wells don't dry up, they should be good. And next, on the other side, they also have a lot of food. There's a lot of crops. There's a lot of animals nearby they could use. One of the biggest problems I had with Fallout 3 is the fact that we never see where they get their food. It seems they get all from scavenging, which, you know, it's kind of unviable in the long term. But in New Vegas, almost every settlement has some sort of crop field. In Goodsprings, is no exception. With Goodsprings, they had to put a lot of extra work. It is the starter town, so I could see why. But yeah, there's a lot of crop fields. However, you know, obviously they can't, you know, solely rely on those crop fields, which brings me to my next point: good trading routes. You know, Goodspring is on the Long 15, I think, which is the main like trading route to you know, New Vegas and Outpost Mojave. There's a lot of good, you know, caravans nearby that could trade with them, food, weapons, supplies, a lot of stuff. Well, they aren't exactly the, you know, biggest trade hub. I do imagine, you know, the caravans pass through there every once in a while. And along with caravans are people that are gonna live there, you know, quiet life. Which brings me up to my next point: a lot of livable space. Besides the powder gangers, there isn't really anyone nearby to contest their territory, so that, you know, they could expand a lot before running into any trouble. And there is a lot of housing in Goodsprings, even if some are ruined and boarded up. However, the houses that are lived in have good infrastructure, which brings me to my next point. We never see any like broken roofs or crumbling walls. Yeah, some of the doors are like knocked down and like it's quite dirty inside. But the houses, after 200 years, are in still pretty good condition, which I imagine, you know, it's a desert. It's pretty dry. It's humid. I imagine it's going to be easier for things like wood to survive. If it was somewhere in like wetland, I imagine it would crumble. But you know, next point. Well, I couldn't confirm everyone. It seems everybody has some sort of job in Goodsprings. You know, like Trudy works at the tavern. Okay, I'm forgetting the word. Bar, whatever you want to call it. You know, I don't know what Easy Pete does. I think he's retired probably. He's a prospector, yeah. There's nobody that's outright homeless in Goodsprings. Even the regular NPCs that don't have like names, they work on the farms. So yeah, that's another plus side. Another thing they do is tend to the bighorners. They have a small bighorn ranch. It seems in New Vegas we are in the beginning stages of bighorn domestication, and Goodsprings is taking advantage of that, which is another good food supplies, and they could trade things such as the horns and fur and obviously the meat. Pretty nice. A lot of good pros for Goodsprings, but you know, with the pros there's cons, and there isn't very much actually. However, the few that are might be pretty big. One of the biggest problems I noticed with Goodsprings is there's not any walls or guard towers or anything nearby. It's wide open to attacks, which is, you know, what happens with the Cobb's Goodsprings game. With Cobb's powder ganger gang. Yeah, there we go. Stuttered. You know, there's nothing over there. You know, if someone comes in, there's no cover, no anything. They could just attack at the middle of the night, which is very bad. If they want to prevent their attack like that, they gotta build up defenses. One thing I noticed is they have a huge gecko problem, especially on the edge of town. You know, with all the wells are out, you know, you have to save somebody from them. I don't think this is like a long-term problem. I feel like, you know, if they spent a day or two trying to hunt down the geckos, they could deal with this. Yeah, I don't know gecko migration routes or anything like that, so we'll see. And I think the biggest problem was high gang activities. There's a lot of powder ganger activities nearby. The NCR prison was nearby. They took it over. Prim is nearby, which originally has been taken over by gangs and, you know, NCR deserters. I can see that being a very big problem. And since they are an independent faction, you know, they kind of had to deal with this for themselves unless they join the NCR or Legion takes over. You know, if like a big gang wanted to, they could try to take over Goodsprings, which is an option in the game. So I could see this being a big problem unless, you know, the power gangs are dealt with. But there isn't many problems, but, you know, I could definitely see, you know, the gangs being a very big problem for Goodsprings. But let's get into actual details about, you know, some of the pros and cons themselves. Okay, let's look at population. I counted a total of 5 men, 3 women, and 2 non-humans, that being Victor and the Sunny's dog. Technically counted as 8 because, you know, obviously a dog and a robot aren't going to do much, especially since Victor goes to the Lucky 38. So technically it's a population of 8, but it could go as low as 7 depending on not if you save the woman from the gecko attack at the, you know, the water spring wells. There we go, jumbling on my words. So yeah, as low as 7 population, which isn't as much as I remember. You know, I feel like there was more people, but, you know, it's been a while since I have done anything Goodsprings related, at least during my current playthrough. So yeah, and also I forgot to mention that we won't be doing anything powder gang related, or else this video is gonna be longer than it needs to. It's already pretty long, so you know. So with a population, there's obviously you need to support them, which is why we go to our next point: agriculture and irrigation. In total, I counted 5 crop fields, 4 corn, or at least you know, something related to corn, and 1 cactus. And which is a lot, you know. Like I said earlier, I like how Obsidian shows us where towns get their crops and foods, and it is not just from trading or scavenging. That's pretty unsustainable. And while they aren't exactly the biggest of crop fields, as long as there isn't any like droughts or you know, like disease to the plants or just general crop failure, these you know, fields should be able to support the town for years to come. And obviously, you know, they could plant more, assuming they need it. But like I said, there's only around 8, 9 people who actually need to eat the food. So, you know, they should be good, you know. But obviously, you know, with food, there is water. And I have counted 4 wells in the total Goodsprings. 3 are being used, and 1 has broken, so I can't tell if they could repair that one or not. So yeah, they do have water, you know, they aren't getting it by river, and as long as these you know, they don't dry up, they should be good for a long time to come. And if there is a case of something like drought, they need more water than they have, they also have 3 water tanks, you know, 2 like smaller ones that look like propane tanks. I'm pretty sure propane, but I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they're used for water. And also 1 gigantic water tank at the cemetery, which I don't know if they could access or not. I don't exactly know how water tanks, like the finer details of them. I only know the general. But yeah, 3 wells, 3 water tanks in use. Very nice. So they have a good supply of food and water to support the people. But you also need one more important thing for to have a good living situation, which is housing. So let's get to that. Now I counted in total around 20 structures. Okay, yeah, around 20 structures, a little bit more, but you know. Okay, let's go into the 2 types of structures and finer details. Commercial buildings, you know, these are non-housing, like for like stores and stuff. I counted 4 in total. 2 are being used, which is the Prospector Saloon and the general store, you know. And I counted 2 unused, which is the school and the Poseidon gas station. Both are still in pretty good condition, so I could feel like, you know, they could still use those for something. And, you know, just clear out the maintenance section, you got a whole building to yourself. Which I feel like they should do that anyways. But, you know, I talked about it earlier, so we won't go into details. So yeah, 4 commercial buildings. And I counted housing 2. It was a little bit more complicated, you know. It took me about a bit to get this in order, but I did it. I stuck with numbers, so forgive me if I get anything wrong. Total, I counted 7 houses being used, which means just someone living there. All in pretty good condition, just kind of dirty, which is a complaint with all my videos about my last 2 videos about Prim and Jacobstown. So I won't go into details about that, but yeah, they are in pretty good condition. Even though like Victor's shack, it's really nice looking. However, I also counted 8 houses being unused. These houses look livable. The only problem I see is that are boarded up. So I don't know why they are boarded up. Maybe the infrastructure's in there bad. Maybe like the roof's rotting, or maybe they just don't have any need for the house, and so they boarded up. I don't know why. If anyone wants to move in Goodsprings, which I don't think it should be a problem with the locals, I could see them just unboarding the house and making it their own. And I see 6 ruined houses. These are like completely unlivable. There's nothing more than some like the basic concrete foundation, some wood framing. All I see these being used good for is salvaging, like the leftover metals and wood from them. And I didn't know where to put this else, so I also counted 7 windmills, which I assume is where the town gets a lot of their power from. Now, where these are broken or operational, I couldn't tell exactly, but they are 7 in total. At least that's what I counted. Like I said, I stuck with numbers. So yeah, this is it. I am starting to my last 2 videos I didn't include this much, which I should have. I'm probably gonna remake those in the future, but and with structures you're gonna need nearby neighbors. Like I said, Goodsprings is a good trading area, but it depends on who's nearby. They could get attacked. The first neighbor I see with Goodsprings is Sloan, which obviously gives the NCR their concrete and limestone, which I could see being pretty big, assuming they side with the NCR or just keep cordial relations with them. I could see prospectors coming to Goodsprings maybe after they retire. I could see trading caravans trying to carry the concrete or anything nearby. They could pass through Goodsprings for as a rest stop. I see a lot of potential with Sloan. However, one thing I think this is the biggest problem with Goodsprings right now is the powder gangers. In total, I counted 5 powder ganger camps. There's obviously the smaller like campgrounds, north, south, west, east, and there's the main headquarters themselves, the correctional facility. Now, this is completely up to you, but I assume the NCR and the locals try to deal with the powder gangers, because they're kind of a pain in everyone's side. And like obviously the main conflict of Goodsprings is Cobb's gangs trying to take over the town, and so I could definitely see this being a very big problem. I could see the Cobb's friends trying to get back revenge on the Goodsprings for killing their friend. So honestly, assuming they could get rid of the powder gangers, I think they should be good. And for their next neighbor down south is Prim. Prim is also taken over by powder gangers and convicts at the beginning of the game, which player choice. So I can't exactly go into finer detail about it because anything can be canon and anything can be not. But yeah, overall it's a good trading town too. It's at the border of California. A lot of NCRs are going in. Maybe they don't like Prim and so they go to Goodsprings as a better alternative. I don't know. No, obviously, Prim isn't exactly the best town, so, But I could see some trading, not that much, like, they are both pretty small towns. So, like I said, it's kind of hard to do this analyst, A game like, New Vegas, pretty much anything is up to the player's choice, so I'll leave that up to you. And the last big, player I see in the region is Black Mountain. There's gonna be super mutants nearby, which may or may not stop some caravans from coming in and out. I want to go near a super mutant infested mountain. And also, you know, maybe some mutants accidentally get caught up in Goodsprings while trying to get there, which could be a big problem. But like I say, it's up to the player to really decide. That's you know, that really does put a wrench on my analysts. It's up to the player really. So what's next? Okay, here we go. Overall, you know, I think Goodsprings is a complacent. It's not the best, but as long as, you know, besides the occasional raid and you know, like animal attack, I see Goodsprings being a good place to live in. You know, I would want to live there, especially compared to like some West Side or Free Side or any one of those really rundown neighborhoods. It's a good place to live in. You know, it's a small, quiet life being a farmer or trader. You know, there's a small but decent population. I could definitely see it growing over the years. You know, everyone is a pretty good age besides EZP. You know, pretty diverse cast of characters over there. Good way to start the game, in my opinion. Yeah, I see I have a good future. You know, as long as they deal with the powder gangers or somebody deals with them in general, they shouldn't have to worry about anything in general. But like I said, player choice, up to you. And on total, I see I have a lot of potential for the future. You know, it's a nice small trading town. There's nothing much to say about this. I don't see them becoming anything major like the next New Vegas, but you know, they should be able to thrive in the future. You know, sorry if I starting to lose my words a little bit during the 8, but you know, yeah, that's my analysis of Goodsprings. It's a nice small trading town. It's a starter town of the game, so obviously they gotta put a lot of effort into it to show the players why they should play this game. But you know, that's about it. You know, I don't want to stretch this video. I'll see ya.